Hello, nice to be here. I'm Erik Dale Rumberg, CEO and one of the co-founders of Kiwi Games. And our business idea is to develop and publish mobile games for casual gamers. And our vision is to gild people's everyday lives and moments with our games. And just some short about our long-term goal. And it is to become a leading developer and publisher for casual gamers that delivers an entertaining and exciting experience. Just some short history about Kiwi Games. We started current operations in Alingsås in 2012. We had a very big first game hit that we launched. We launched a quiz game called QuizMe that was very popular in Sweden. It led the way to let us be able to develop more games in the word genre between 2013 and 2016, and launched several games under a franchise called Words in a Pic. We also transitioned to develop all our games in the Unity engine at this time. In 2017, we listed the company on the Spotlight stock market. And in 2018, we acquired a studio in Cyprus called Milliplay that had previously been focusing on creating match-3 games and build their own engine that we call the K3 engine. So this led us to be able to enter the match-3 category of games, which we now are heavily focusing on. And we use that engine for all those types of games. We also started a sector in the company called Branded Games, a business area that focusing on creating games on famous and world-known brands and IPs. And we also started to focus a lot more on meta elements to have that experience in our casual games. In 2019, we launched our biggest game success so far called Wordington. And we also started the first launch for a branded game under the Hell's Kitchen brand. In 2020, Hell's Kitchen went out into a global launch. We signed a lot more branded games deals, and we also started a launch for the Coronation Street game, which is also a game based on a very famous UK brand, the world's longest running soap opera. In 2021, we raised 66.5 million SEK in a directed share issue. We moved to Nasdaq First North Growth Market. And also we acquired a majority ownership in a UK-based hyper-casual studio called Playwright. I'll talk more about them later on. Signed a deal with Ty Pennington, which will be the host in our upcoming branded game under the Extreme Makeover Home Edition brand. And in 2021, we focused a lot on branded games. So more or less the whole 2021 was related to branded games projects. And we launched games under the brands Midsummer Murders, Kitchen Nightmares, and MasterChef. But the MasterChef game is still in the soft launch. 2022, we started soft launch for a new own IP called Word Solitaire. Playwright is working on several different hyper-casual prototypes. Now we have a lot of focus on our new Extreme Makeover game. The majority of the resources in the company is working towards that game. That is expected to start soft launch here in Q2. And throughout 2022, we also expect to have a lot more focus on own IPs than what we've had during 2021. So our structure looks like this. We have parent company in Alingsås with 9 people working from Alingsås. We also have the board from Sweden. And also wanted to mention that during the annual general meeting now in the beginning of May, we have suggestions to elect a new chairman of the board, which is Özcan Ego, which is one of the co-founders of Kiwi and the single largest shareholder. And also a new board member called David Nelson, which have over 15 years of experience with digital games. And last, he has been working with King since 2013 to 2021. And in his last position there, he was responsible for their 5 biggest games with annual revenues of $400 million per year. So really good 2 new members joining up on the board here soon, hopefully, if everything goes good at the annual general meeting. We have a subsidiary in Cyprus with 50 people. which has been growing a lot last years. We have been focusing to increase our staff in Cyprus. We also have the subsidiary in London with Playwright, where we own 63.75% currently. And also we have a UK-based Kiwi Games company, because we have currently 1 employee there, but we have the possibility to scale further there also. So we target casual gamers and primarily women, 35 years up. In the games today, we have around 70% women and 30% men. They play our games between 15 to 40 minutes every session. And we create our revenue mostly from ads. So in Q4, our revenue came 23% from in-app purchases and 77% from ads revenue. Daily users, 123,000 in Q4, monthly 668,000, and our ARPDAU, average revenue per daily active user, was at 0.95 SEK. So look at the gross revenue development. We reached 64 million SEK in 2021. We had a really good year 2020 with Worthington that performed really good, and also Hell's Kitchen. We have had problems with the IDFA change from iOS that was implemented in the beginning of 2021 that impacted iOS ads revenue streams for us a lot, and also impacted user acquisition. So that's something that we have been working a lot with. And also during 2021, we have not started any new launch for a game that has been really good, to be honest. So that is why the decline in revenues is what it is and what you're seeing. And that has led us to not being able to invest more into user acquisition than what we were able to do in 2021 when we had really good performing titles. And these are some pictures of Worthington, our biggest game that is approaching 25 million downloads, where the player plays crossword and renovates and decorates a house. And the EBITDA development in 2021 reached a negative EBITDA of around 6 million SEK compared to 6.7 million SEK positive in 2020. We have increased employees 2019 to 2021 according to plan. Now we are at around 60 people, and that base is something we expect to be able to handle all the projects we currently have. So we don't expect more increase in costs related to employees. We have established a new user acquisition marketing strategy here at the end of 2021 with new employees coming into the team to be able to find a more profitability in the user acquisition work that we do. We have around 60 million SEK in the cash and cash equivalents, so we have a strong cash situation in the company. Just some development worldwide. In the purchase, consumer spend is continuing to rise, reached around $160 billion in 2021, with an growth with around 57% since 2018, and a 19% yearly growth. So the mobile market and in-app purchase consumer spend is still growing very much. And also ad revenue continues to grow when more people play mobile games. Players who play mobile games can, and they like to play with ads in the games if they can get rewards from it. So many players really like to have the possibility to watch ads in games. And it was a really strong ad revenue growth in the Americas by around three times in 2021. So look a little bit about our portfolio and what we have for strategy there. We want to create a good diversity between own IPs and branded games. And we want to have a mix between what we call big game productions and small game productions. And big game productions means that we have a higher chance to bring long-term revenue to the company and to get a higher lifetime value from the players in those games. And with the small game productions, we give the company a possibility to test new innovative ideas with a lower risk. And if those types of mechanics seems to work, we can then easily implement them in big game productions. We focus on long-term user retention and to support that with live operations in the daily work that our employees work with, and that is more towards the big game productions, where we launch new content and run events and everything like that. We work also a lot with cross-promotion to keep the players inside the Kiwi network. And we do have the intention to publish and market all the games that we have in our portfolio by ourselves. We do have a marketing team and a creative team in-house that controls everything we do. We are focusing currently a lot on organic growth in our games. We are working a lot on implementing more social gaming experiences that we can very clearly see that we need to have to be able to get more free installs and get a higher virality in our games, to not be in the need to purchase every install that we get. If we can solve this problem, we will be able to be much more profitable than what we have been historically. I mentioned the cross-promotion activities that we do. And also the small game productions where we have a possibility to launch games with low development time. These games can, in a lot of cases, be able to be marketed a bit cheaper than big game productions, and then they can also be traffic injectors to big game productions with cross-promotion. We are focusing regarding our monetization a lot on diversifying the revenue streams more. We have had a very high percentage of our revenue coming from ads revenue, and we know that Apple have done the IDFA thing, and Google is working with their cookies and will create changes related to that in the near future. So a diversified revenue stream is something that we're working a lot with. And this means that we need to increase the willingness to purchase in our games to get more in-app purchases and also subscription revenue. And if we can do this, we will be able to increase the long-term lifetime value in our games, and then we can also find more growth possibilities. And our growth and acquisition strategy currently looks like this. We are focusing a lot on organic growth, and that is something we want to reach by improving our existing products and, of course, adding more innovative products to the portfolio we have. We are working a lot with the virality factor and social gaming experience in the games to find organic growth that way. And also focus on innovative game mechanics that is not out there currently on the market, because that is something that we believe is crucial to take more market share, because the gaming market is very much, there is a lot of similar games out there that so you need to think outside the box and want to invest in to be innovative, and that is something we are going to focus on a lot more than what we have done historically. And of course, we are also looking for acquisitions, and that can be both games and innovative studios. And currently, we're focusing a lot on the Extreme Makeover Home Edition brand and IP. It will be a new match-3 game and a puzzle game with Ty Pennington, who is a very famous American host. Some of you probably recognize him. It will focus on captivating stories and home renovation, and we believe that this brand and IP have a really good fit towards our core audience, casual gamers, and that it has a very good possibility in the gaming space. And we expect this to start soft launch here in Q2. Word Solitaire, it's a new own IP that we are currently in a global soft launch, and it's an own IP that combines puzzling with solitaire, and we have established a platform with this game to be able to easily test new type of mechanics, and based on that, we in 2021 more or less only worked with branded games development. We have this huge idea bank of innovative mechanics and game modes that we want to test. So So in 2022, we expect to launch several launches like Word Solitaire, but with different core game mechanics to find a new type of mechanic that works good against casual gamers and that can take new market shares for us. So our portfolio of branded games looks like this. We have the Hell's Kitchen game that we have together with ITV. Same with the Coronation Street game, which is a word game. Kitchen Nightmares, it is a match-3 game that we are running together with All3 Media. And it's currently in a global soft launch, and we're still working with it and optimize core metrics in the game. Midsummer Murders, it's a word game that we also do together with All3 Media, and that game started its global launch in Q4 2021. And then we have MasterChef, which is still in a locked soft launch, and we still work a lot with that game. We did encounter some problems with the performance of the early game design of the game, so now we have been reworking the game and is very close to launching a new version that we really hope will be able to take the game out into a global launch. And MasterChef is the world's most known cooking show. Agreement with Banijay Brands, and we also do the Extreme Makeover game together with Banijay Brands. So as you can see, we have had a lot of focus on branded games the last years here. And own IPs looks like this. We have Worthington, and Worthington is currently the biggest revenue driver in the company, translated into 10 languages and approaching 25 million downloads. We have Word Solitaire that we work on in a soft launch. And then we have Backpacker, which we launched back in 2017, where we have registered trademarks in EU and US and more countries. And then Puzzleton, which is a game that we created based on the Worthington engine, but we swapped out the crossword mechanic to match-3 instead. So why invest in Kiwi Games? We have a good spread of risk between own IPs and branded games. The branded games portfolio that we now have built up, we expect that to be able to grow the upcoming years and to also find good organic route, because famous brands tend to drive players finding those types of games on the stores more easily than unknown brands. And it's much easier to market those types of games also. We have several projects to start soft launches here, and I would highlight the Extreme Makeover game that we believe a lot in, together with Ty Pennington as the host. And it's the first time we work with a famous person in a game that way, that will be a cartoon character in the game, both being used in the game and also in marketing activities. We are cost effective with our subsidiary in Cyprus. We focus both on casual and hyper-casual game, and with the hyper-casual segment we have Playwright that is located in UK, and Playwright is working on several different hyper-casual prototypes, some of them expected to start soft launch here in the next weeks. So there is a really good growth potential there with good team members in Playwright that I believe myself a lot in. As I said, we will transition from being focused a lot on branded games in 2021. In 2022, we will transition more resources towards own IPs, because we have a lot there to get out and test. And also we're going to invest more into Worthington, which is our flagship title that have been not so focusing on in 2021 because we have had so much other projects running. And last but not least, we control the entire life cycle of a game, so we do both the development and publishing and marketing in-house. And you find us on Nasdaq First North under Kiwi ticker. That was all from me.
Thank you, Eric, for the presentation. I have a few questions, and first one relates to your geographical exposure. So you said that you're operating out of Cyprus and Sweden and the UK. But what is the kind of geographical exposure on the sales side?
Yeah, we create most of our revenues from Tier 1 geos, like US, Germany, France. So it's mainly there. US is our biggest revenue geo.
And the pandemic has, I mean, boosted revenues for you and for some other mobile gaming companies. How have you worked with keeping the players now when countries have opened up again?
Yeah, as you said, the pandemic really increased the install rates, and you had also the possibility to market your games a lot cheaper because there was so much people out there to reach. So the fill rate was very, very high. But working with keeping players, and that is something that we have experienced. We have dropped our daily active users and monthly active users throughout 2021 very much, and that's because of the players that we acquired in 2021 did not have the best retention, but it shortly drive up the revenues because we could get them very cheap. So, but we're working all the time with increasing the engagement by releasing new content in our games and of course optimize them. And we have a very, very interesting update coming out here soon for Worthington that will include player versus player and also a lot of optimizations regarding in-app purchase and ads revenue. So we believe a lot in Worthington. That was a very big driver from the pandemic period of revenues.
Yeah. All right, thank you. We have to conclude there, and we will be back with Paradox Interactive soon. So thanks, Erik, for the presentation.
Thank you.